Let me tell you something that might shake you. The greatest threat to your future is not your enemies. It's not the economy. It's not your past. It's a mindset, a quiet, comfortable, dangerous mindset that whispers, "You've got time," that says, "Tomorrow will be better," that convinces you this is enough. And while you listen to it, your life is slipping through your fingers. This mindset doesn't attack you loudly. It doesn't announce destruction. It works slowly, patiently. It tells you to sleep in when you should rise. It tells you to scroll when you should study. It tells you to doubt when you should act. It feeds you comfort while starving your potential. You think you're resting. You're actually regressing. You think you're being realistic. You're actually shrinking. You think you're waiting for the right time, but the right time is waiting for you. The most dangerous belief you can have is this: I'll do it later. Next week becomes next year. Next year becomes regret. And regret is heavy. Nobody is coming to save you. Let that settle in your mind without resistance. No mentor is secretly planning your breakthrough. No opportunity is searching for your address. No miracle is waiting for the perfect moment to land in your lap. The sooner you accept this, the stronger you become. Waiting for rescue weakens your urgency. Depending on others delays your growth. The world rewards those who move, not those who wait. If you keep expecting someone to fix your situation, you will remain exactly where you are. You may have been disappointed before. Maybe support never showed up. Maybe you felt alone when you needed help the most. That pain is real, but it is also revealing. It shows you that your strength cannot depend on outside validation. If your motivation relies on applause, you will stop when the noise fades. True power is built internally. It grows when you decide that even without encouragement, even without recognition, you will still move forward with determination and focus. Blaming your past might feel justified, but it keeps you powerless. You can analyze it, learn from it, even respect the lessons it taught you, but you cannot live in it. The more you point backward, the less control you have over what's ahead. Responsibility may feel heavy at first, yet it gives you leverage. When you say, "It's on me," you take control of the steering wheel. You stop being a passenger in your own life and start becoming the driver who chooses direction and speed. Depending on rescue creates hesitation. You delay hard decisions because you assume someone else will intervene. You postpone growth because you think circumstances will improve on their own. But progress does not happen by accident. It happens when you step into responsibility fully. That means improving your skills without being told. That means fixing your habits without being forced. That means pushing yourself when no one is watching. Self-reliance builds a foundation that cannot be shaken easily by criticism, rejection, or temporary setbacks. There is a difference between support and dependence. Support is helpful, but dependence is dangerous. When you depend on others to believe in you, your confidence becomes unstable. When you depend on others to push you, your discipline becomes fragile. You must become your own source of momentum. That means setting your standards high without external pressure. That means holding yourself accountable even when nobody checks your progress. The strongest individuals are not those who never needed help, but those who learned to stand independently. Excuses often hide behind the idea that help is coming. You tell yourself that once someone invests in you, once someone notices you, once someone gives you a chance, then you will rise. But what if the chance only appears after you prove yourself first? What if the investment follows visible effort? Opportunity often responds to action, not intention. When you move first, doors begin to open. When you hesitate, doors remain invisible. Action signals seriousness. Inaction signals uncertainty and doubt. You must become resourceful. If you lack money, build skills. If you lack connections, build discipline. Waiting for ideal conditions wastes time. You cannot recover. Growth requires initiative. It demands that you search for solutions instead of focusing on obstacles. Resourceful people create options where others see limitations. They do not deny difficulty, but they refuse to let difficulty dictate their future. That mindset separates those who transform their lives from those who remain stuck in cycles of dependency. From this moment forward, adopt the mindset that your progress depends on you. Wake up with the understanding that no one owes you success. No one owes you opportunity. No one owes you belief. When you accept that truth, you stop negotiating with laziness. You stop expecting sympathy. You start building strength. Your habits become sharper. Your focus becomes clearer. Your standards become higher. You move with urgency because you understand that if anything nudges, it will change because you decided to make it happen through relentless effort and discipline. Comfort is the real enemy, and most people never recognize it. It doesn't look dangerous. It feels warm, safe, and familiar. It tells you to relax when you should prepare. It tells you that average is acceptable. It convinces you that pushing harder is unnecessary. While you sit in comfort, time keeps moving. Opportunities pass quietly. Potential slowly fades. Comfort never announces the damage it causes. It slowly replaces ambition with excuses. It quietly trades growth for convenience, and before you realize it, years have gone by without meaningful progress. Comfort creates illusions. It makes you believe you are doing enough because you are busy. It makes you believe you are progressing because you are planning. But planning without execution is just delay. Being busy without improvement is just movement without direction. Comfort allows you to stay in routines that require little effort. It avoids risk. It avoids criticism. It avoids discomfort. But everything valuable requires stepping beyond what feels easy. If your daily life feels too comfortable, it is likely not demanding the growth you are capable of achieving. Easy choices create hard lives. Hard choices create easier lives. That principle is simple yet powerful. Choosing to sleep in feels easy. Choosing to wake early and work on your goals feels hard. Choosing to spend money carelessly feels easy. Choosing to invest and save feels hard. Choosing distraction feels easy. Choosing focus feels hard. Over time, those small, easy decisions accumulate into major consequences. Comfort convinces you that small compromises do not matter, but small compromises repeated daily shape the direction of your entire future. Growth requires resistance. Just like muscles grow through tension, character grows through challenge. When you constantly avoid discomfort, you weaken your resilience. You reduce your tolerance for difficulty. Then even small obstacles feel overwhelming. Comfort shrinks your capacity. It makes ordinary challenges feel extraordinary. When you deliberately step into discomfort, you expand your limits. You become more adaptable. You become stronger mentally. You develop confidence through proof. The willingness to embrace temporary discomfort builds long-term strength that comfort can never provide. Comfort also influences the people you surround yourself with. You may choose relationships that require little accountability. You may avoid environments that challenge your thinking. You may distance yourself from people who demand higher standards. Why? Because growth feels uncomfortable. Being challenged exposes weaknesses. Being pushed reveals limitations. But those moments are necessary. Surrounding yourself with individuals who accept mediocrity will normalize mediocrity. Surrounding yourself with driven individuals will normalize discipline. The environment you choose either stretches you or slowly sedates your ambition. There is nothing wrong with rest. Rest restores strength, but comfort disguised as rest becomes stagnation. True rest prepares you to move again with intensity. False comfort keeps you still indefinitely. You must learn to distinguish between recovery and avoidance. Recovery has purpose. Avoidance has excuses. If you constantly tell yourself you deserve a break without earning it, you train your mind to expect reward without effort. That expectation weakens your discipline and lowers your standards. Discipline grows when rewards follow effort, not when they replace it. Many people say they want success, yet they protect their comfort more than their goals. They avoid difficult conversations. They avoid necessary sacrifices. They avoid unfamiliar paths. But every breakthrough exists beyond the familiar. You cannot reach new levels by repeating safe patterns. The comfort zone is a boundary created by fear. Stepping outside it feels uncertain, but that uncertainty is where growth lives. When you repeatedly step beyond what feels safe, you redefine your limits and expand your possibilities significantly. If you want a different future, you must develop a higher tolerance for discomfort. You must choose discipline over ease. You must choose focus over distraction. You must choose growth over familiarity. Comfort will always invite you back. It will always promise relief. But relief without progress leads to regret. The life you desire requires effort that stretches you. It requires habits that challenge you. When you decide that comfort will no longer control your decisions, you begin building a version of yourself capable of achieving more than you once believed possible. Discipline over motivation is not just a phrase. It is a survival code for anyone who wants to win in life. Motivation is emotional. It rises when you feel inspired and disappears when things get hard. Discipline does not ask how you feel. It tells you what must be done. If your success depends on your mood, you will always be inconsistent. Some mornings you will feel tired and doubtful. Discipline removes negotiation. It replaces feelings with standards and creates structure where chaos once existed. Motivation is powerful, but it is temporary. It comes from a speech, a video, a song, or a burst of excitement. But once the emotion fades, what remains? Most people stop when the feeling stops. That is why they start strong and finish weak. Discipline, on the other hand, does not require excitement. It requires commitment. It operates even when the spark is gone. The disciplined individual continues working in silence, long after the motivational rush has faded. That consistency is what separates dreamers from achievers. When you rely on motivation, you give your emotions control over your future. If you feel good, you act. If you feel tired, you delay. If you feel afraid, you stop. That pattern creates instability. Discipline creates reliability. It ensures that progress happens daily, not occasionally. The gym session happens whether you feel energetic or exhausted. The work gets done whether you are inspired or bored. Over time, these repeated actions compound into real results. Discipline turns ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement through relentless repetition. Self-respect is built through discipline. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen trust within. When you say you will wake up early and you do, confidence increases. When you say you will focus and you follow through, belief grows. But when you constantly break promises to yourself, doubt develops. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline carries it forward. The ability to act despite discomfort builds a deeper sense of identity. You begin to see yourself as someone dependable and strong. Discipline also protects you from distraction. In a world filled with constant noise, notifications, and temptations, focus has become rare. Motivation might encourage you to start a task, but discipline keeps you locked in when distractions appear. It builds mental endurance. It trains your mind to stay committed even when easier options call your name. Each time you resist distraction, you strengthen your willpower. Over time, this mental strength allows you to operate at a level most people cannot sustain consistently. Consistency beats intensity every time. Intense bursts of effort may look impressive, but they are difficult to maintain. Discipline favors steady progress. It encourages manageable routines repeated daily. 10 focused minutes every day outperform 2 unfocused hours once a week. Small actions executed consistently build powerful momentum. That momentum creates visible progress. Visible progress builds confidence. Confidence fuels even stronger discipline. This cycle becomes self-reinforcing, pushing you forward even when external motivation is nowhere to be found. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, days when results seem invisible and effort feels unrewarded. Those are the defining moments. Anyone can work when results are obvious. Few continue when growth is hidden. Discipline demands faith in the process. It requires trust that small improvements today will produce significant outcomes later. Staying consistent during slow seasons builds resilience. Resilience ensures that you do not collapse when challenges appear. The disciplined mind understands that success is a long game. When you choose discipline over motivation, you stop waiting for the perfect feeling. You act based on principle, not emotion. You build systems that support your goals. You create routines that reduce decision fatigue. You design your days with intention. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes automatic. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. Identity shapes destiny. The shift from motivation to discipline transforms you from someone who hopes for change into someone who produces it through daily, controlled, focused effort. Time is running faster than you think. You wake up, you scroll, you work, you rest, and suddenly another year is gone. It does not announce its departure. It does not ask for permission. It simply moves. While you hesitate, it advances. While you doubt, it advances. While you delay, it advances. The illusion that you have unlimited time is one of the most dangerous lies you can believe. Every day you postpone action, you reduce the space available for growth. Time is neutral, but your use of it determines everything. Procrastination feels harmless in the moment. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow. You promise that next week will be different. But tomorrow repeats the same pattern. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years, and the gap between where you are and where you want to be grows wider. Procrastination steals silently. It does not break in loudly. It slowly removes opportunities while you remain distracted. The cost of delay is rarely visible immediately, but it compounds over time into missed chances and unrealized potential. Look back 5 years. Notice how quickly they passed. The goals you once thought were distant are now either achieved or abandoned. The time felt long while you were living it, yet it disappeared rapidly. The next 5 years will move the same way. The difference will be determined by your urgency today. If you treat each day casually, you will arrive in the future surprised by how little changed. If you treat each day with intention, you will arrive in the future transformed. Urgency changes behavior. When you believe something is limited, you value it more. If you knew you had only 1 year to reach your goal, your focus would sharpen. Your distractions would decrease. Your excuses would lose strength. That urgency should not require a crisis. It should come from awareness. Awareness that time is not guaranteed. Awareness that opportunities have expiration dates. Awareness that delay creates distance between you and your ambitions. Urgency is not panic. It is focused intensity directed toward meaningful action. Many people live as if life has a rehearsal phase. They assume there will always be another chance to try harder later. But there is no practice round. The habits you build today shape the results you experience tomorrow. Waiting for ideal conditions is another form of delay. Conditions rarely become perfect. They become manageable through action. When you move despite uncertainty, you gain clarity. When you wait for clarity before moving, you remain stuck in analysis without progress. Your daily schedule reveals your priorities. Hours spent scrolling, complaining, or avoiding discomfort cannot be recovered. Once spent, time is gone permanently. You can earn money again. You can rebuild lost possessions, but you cannot reclaim wasted years. This realization should not create fear. It should create focus. Focus directs energy toward what truly matters. It forces you to evaluate where your attention goes. Attention is the currency of time. Where you invest it determines the return you receive. Momentum is built through immediate action. When you act quickly on meaningful tasks, you generate energy. That energy fuels the next action. Delay interrupts momentum before it begins. The longer you hesitate, the heavier the task feels. Taking the first step reduces resistance. It shifts you from thinking to doing. Action dissolves doubt faster than overthinking ever could. The sooner you start, the off. Sooner progress begins. The sooner progress begins, the sooner results follow. 5 years from now, you will look back at this period. You will either feel gratitude for the discipline you applied or regret for the time you allowed to slip away. That future version of you is being built today. Each decision, each habit, each hour shapes that identity. Time will continue moving whether you act or not. The only question is whether you will move with it intentionally, using each day as a stepping stone towards something greater than comfort and routine. Raise your standards or lower your dreams. You cannot keep both at the same time. If your standards stay average, your results will stay average. If you tolerate weak effort, weak discipline, and weak focus, you will build a weak future. Standards are not what you say you want. Standards are what you consistently accept. They are the boundaries you set for your behavior, your circle, your habits, and your mindset. When you raise them, your life begins to shift. When you lower them, your dreams slowly shrink to match your comfort. You say you want success, but what do you tolerate daily? Do you tolerate procrastination? Do you tolerate excuses? Do you tolerate being late, distracted, inconsistent? Every time you allow behavior that contradicts your goals, you send a message to yourself that excellence is optional. High standards demand alignment between what you say and what you do. They demand discipline when nobody is watching. They demand honesty when it would be easier to pretend. The gap between your goals and your standards determines the gap between your reality and your potential. Weak standards create weak environments. If you allow negativity around you, negativity becomes normal. If you allow laziness in your routine, laziness becomes habitual. You cannot expect extraordinary results from ordinary expectations. The people you surround yourself with, the content you consume, the routines you follow, all reflect your standards. When you raise them, some relationships may change, some habits may disappear, some comforts may fade. But what replaces them is growth. And growth always requires the courage to demand more from yourself. Standards are not about perfection, they are about non-negotiables. They are the rules you refuse to break. Waking up on time, completing tasks fully, speaking with respect, training your body consistently, protecting your focus. These small non-negotiables build identity. Identity shapes outcomes. When you live by higher standards, confidence grows naturally. You trust yourself more because your actions match your expectations. That trust fuels bigger goals. Bigger goals require even stronger standards. The cycle reinforces itself in powerful ways. Lowering your staff, NARDS feels easier in the moment. You give yourself a pass. You justify small slips. You say it does not matter. But small slips repeated often become habits. Habits shape character. Character shapes destiny. Each time you choose the easier path over the disciplined one, you train yourself to expect less. Over time, your dreams begin to feel unrealistic because your behavior does not support them. Instead of chasing greatness, you begin adjusting your ambitions to match your reduced effort. Raising your standards may isolate you. Not everyone will understand your discipline. Not everyone will support your focus. Some may call you extreme. Some may feel uncomfortable around your ambition. That is the cost of growth. Average standards create crowded spaces. High standards create separation. If you want uncommon results, you must accept uncommon habits. You must become comfortable being different. You must value progress over popularity. Your future will not be shaped by approval, but by commitment to your own expectations. When you demand more from yourself, you unlock capacity you did not know existed. You begin pushing past previous limits. You discover strength through challenge. Higher standards force adaptation. They push you to improve skills, sharpen focus, and strengthen discipline. Each improvement compounds over time. What E felt impossible becomes achievable. Standards act as the foundation upon which your achievements stand. Without a strong foundation, even big dreams collapse under pressure. Your life will always rise or fall to the level of what you tolerate. If you tolerate mediocrity, mediocrity will surround you. If you tolerate excellence, excellence will become your environment. Decide what you will no longer accept. Decide which habits must end. Decide which behaviors must improve. Your dreams are not unrealistic. They are simply waiting for standards strong enough to support them. The moment you choose to raise what you demand from yourself is the moment your direction begins to change with intention and clarity. You are built for more than the life you are currently living. Deep down, you feel it. That quiet voice that whispers there is something greater inside you is not imagination, it is awareness. It is potential demanding expression. Too many people silence that voice because pursuing more requires effort, risk, and responsibility. Staying where you are feels safer. But safety is not fulfillment. You are not designed merely to survive routines. You were designed to expand, to grow, to stretch beyond limitations that once defined you. Playing small may protect you from failure, but it also protects you from growth. When you shrink your ambitions to avoid criticism, you betray your capability. Fear of judgment becomes a cage. You hesitate to speak boldly, act confidently, or pursue bigger goals because you worry about opinions. But opinions do not determine your destiny. Action does. The moment you allow fear to dictate your decisions, you hand over control of your future. Growth demands courage, not approval. Inside you are skills waiting to be sharpened, talents waiting to be refined, ideas waiting to be executed. Potential unused becomes frustration. That restlessness you sometimes feel is not random. It is the discomfort of untapped capacity. When you ignore it, it turns into regret. When you respond to it, it turns into progress. The difference lies in whether you act. Thinking about improvement is not enough. Planning improvement is not enough. Execution is the bridge between who you are and who you could become. You cannot expect extraordinary results from ordinary effort. If you want more from life, you must give more to it. More focus, more discipline, more consistency. Comfort will try to convince you that what you are doing is sufficient. But sufficient does not lead to exceptional. When you raise your effort, you raise your output. When you push beyond convenience, you discover new levels of SHR. The limits you assume are often mental barriers built from past experiences, not permanent boundaries. Growth often feels uncomfortable because it stretches identity. When you begin changing habits, you feel resistance. When you start aiming higher, doubt appears. That discomfort is evidence of expansion. Just as muscles grow through tension, character grows through challenge. If you avoid tension, you avoid transformation. The version of you that is capable of more will only emerge when the current version is challenged repeatedly. Without challenge, stagnation becomes normal. Your environment also influences how much you grow. If you surround yourself with people who settle, settling feels natural. If you surround yourself with people who strive, striving becomes expected. Growth thrives in demanding environments. It thrives where accountability exists. You may need to change conversations, routines, and influences to support your expansion. The willingness to adjust your surroundings demonstrates seriousness about improvement. What you tolerate around you often reflects what you believe about yourself. There will be moments when you question whether pursuing more is worth it. Progress may feel slow. Results may seem distant, but remember that growth compounds. Small improvements repeated daily create significant change over time. Each disciplined action strengthens identity. Each challenge overcome increases confidence. Momentum builds quietly before it becomes visible. Patience combined with persistence creates breakthroughs that appear sudden but are rooted in consistent effort beneath the surface. You were not created to live beneath your potential. The capacity for strength, intelligence, creativity, and leadership already exists within you. The responsibility now is to develop it. That requires intentional action. It requires raising standards, increasing focus, and embracing discomfort. Every day presents a decision: remain within familiar limits or step beyond them. The more often you choose expansion, the more your identity shifts towards someone capable of achieving far beyond what once seemed possible. Change the mindset, and you change the direction of your life. So stand up mentally, take responsibility, draw a line in the sand. Refuse to let weak thinking control strong potential. Refuse to let comfort rob you of greatness. Refuse to let another year pass with the same excuses. Today is the turning point. Adopt a mindset of discipline. Adopt a mindset of urgency. Adopt a mindset of ownership. Stop waiting. Start building. Stop doubting. Start doing. Stop shrinking. Start rising. Your life will not transform by accident. It will transform the moment you decide that weak thinking no longer has permission to control you. K-A-A, that decision now.